The 7 Habits of Genuine Empaths. The world is filled with a vast spectrum of personalities, but few are as misunderstood as the true empath. Often perceived as overly sensitive or even eccentric, individuals who carry this trait possess a profound capacity for selfless care and an almost uncanny ability to read the unspoken emotional states of those around them. This isn't a supernatural power or a sign of being abnormal, though society often treats it as such. Instead, it is a heightened state of emotional resonance that allows a person to act as a natural healer and a pillar of support for others. Understanding the specific behaviors that define this personality type is the first step toward appreciating the vital role they play in the lives of everyone they encounter. The experience of being an empath is far from fiction, yet it can be incredibly challenging to navigate in a world that often values stoicism over sensitivity. Many who possess this gift find it difficult to fit in because they fear being judged as weird or unstable. However, within the community of those who feel deeply, there is an immediate recognition of shared experience. When two empaths meet, they often find they are on the same wavelength without a single word being exchanged. To the outside observer, their actions might seem strange, but to the genuine empath, these behaviors are simply the reality of living with a heart that is wide open to the energy of the universe. One of the most physically and emotionally taxing experiences for an empath is being in a densely populated environment. Whether it is a busy city street, a crowded bar, or a loud club, the sensory and emotional input can quickly become unbearable. This isn't just about a dislike for noise. It is about the involuntary absorption of dozens of different emotional states simultaneously. Imagine standing in a room where everyone is shouting different sentences at once. For an empath, that is what a crowd feels like, but with feelings instead of words. They pick up on the hidden stress of a stranger, the quiet grief of another, and the frantic excitement of a third, all at the same time. This emotional overload often triggers a strong fight or flight response. The urge to escape the scene is not a sign of social anxiety in the traditional sense, but a desperate need for self-preservation. Because they lack a natural filter to block out these external energies, empaths can feel like they are drowning in a sea of other people's lives. To survive and thrive in modern society, it becomes essential for these individuals to learn how to visualize and maintain a protective shield. The goal is to allow emotions to flow around them or past them, rather than through them, ensuring they remain grounded even when the world around them is in a state of chaos. The influence of environment on well-being. Because of their extreme sensitivity to energy, the choice of where an empath lives is a decision of monumental importance. They understand, often instinctively, that they cannot escape the vibrational frequency of their surroundings. Living in a high-crime area or a dense, frantic urban center can leave an empath feeling perpetually drained and spiritually exhausted. Dark energies and intense, chaotic vibrations seep into their living space, making it impossible to find the rest they need. For this reason, an empath's home is not just a house. It is a sanctuary that must be carefully selected to support their mental and emotional health. Most empaths are naturally drawn to calm, quiet areas with smaller populations. They crave serenity and the space to breathe without the constant pressure of outside energy. Areas close to nature or in peaceful suburbs allow them to function at an optimum level. This preference for quietude isn't a sign of being antisocial. It is a requirement for healing. After a day spent navigating the emotions of others, they need a low-stimulation environment where they can concentrate on their own needs and clear their internal landscape. Serenity is the fuel that allows them to return to the world and continue their work as caregivers. The involuntary absorption of emotion. Perhaps the most defining and weird characteristic of an empath is their tendency to literally take on the energy of those they interact with. This process is rarely deliberate. If empaths could choose to remain unaffected, many surely would, as the experience can be incredibly taxing. When an empath spends time with someone who is angry, they may find themselves feeling agitated and restless without a clear cause. If they sit with a friend who is grieving, they might find tears welling up in their own eyes as if the loss were their own. This mirroring effect happens almost instantaneously, often leaving the empath feeling like they have no stable emotional center of their own. While this ability makes them world-class listeners and supporters, it is also a double-edged sword that can lead to rapid burnout. It is crucial for someone with this trait to develop a conscious mechanism for defending their internal state. Without a way to distinguish between their own feelings and the feelings they have borrowed from others, they risk losing their sense of self. Learning to recognize the moment an external emotion enters their space is a vital skill. By building a level of control over this absorption, an empath can retain their strength and ensure they have enough energy left to handle the responsibilities and joys of their own life. The unfailing compass of intuition. Empaths often move through the world with a sense of knowing that others find baffling. It can feel as though they possess a magic wand that strips away the facades people wear in public. This high level of intuition makes it nearly impossible for others to deceive a genuine empath. They don't just hear the words a person says, they feel the intent behind them. They see through the densest of thoughts and the most carefully constructed lies. This psychic sensitivity allows them to detect when someone is in pain, even if that person is wearing a wide smile and insisting that everything is perfectly fine. A mere glance or a brief interaction is often enough for an empath to sense the true heart of another person. They can feel the tear of anguish hidden behind a cheerful mask. This makes them excellent judges of character, but it can also make social interactions feel heavy. Knowing the secrets that people are trying to hide can be a burden. However, this gift is also what allows them to offer help exactly when it is needed most. They are the friends who call right when you are at your lowest point, or the colleagues who know you need a break before you've even realized it yourself. The habit of ignoring personal struggles. There is a recurring theme in the lives of most empaths: the tendency to put everyone else's needs before their own. While most people are naturally inclined towards some level of self-preservation, the empath often operates in reverse. They will set aside their own mounting problems, health issues, or emotional distress to ensure that those around them are okay. There is a deep-seated belief within many empaths that their own challenges are small or insignificant compared to the suffering they sense in others. They effectively live for others, often at the expense of their own happiness. This selflessness is noble, but it can be dangerous if left unchecked. A typical empath gives everything to the world and keeps nothing for themselves. It is essential to remember that an empath's ability to heal and help is directly tied to their own well-being. You cannot pour from an empty cup. To be truly effective, an empath must learn to put themselves first occasionally. This doesn't mean becoming selfish, which is nearly impossible for this personality type anyway, but rather practicing self-love. Finding yourself and ensuring your own happiness is the foundation upon which your ability to help others is built. The natural magnetism for the broken. If you are a genuine empath, you have likely noticed that people in turmoil seem to find you no matter where you go. You are a natural magnet for broken souls and individuals seeking strength. This happens because empaths radiate a unique kind of hope and safety that is rare in the modern world. People who are hurting can feel your gift, and they are drawn to it like a moth to a flame. You offer a type of non-judgmental healing that they may have searched for in vain elsewhere. While it is a privilege to be a source of strength, it also requires the mastery of boundary setting. The world contains an endless supply of pain, and one person cannot repair it all in a single lifetime. If an empath does not learn how to set healthy boundaries, their personal space and emotional reserves will be constantly invaded by those in need of a fix. It is okay to be a healer, but it is equally important to protect your peace. Learning to say no or to step back when your own energy is low is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of survival. By guarding your space, you ensure that when you do choose to help, you can do so with your full power and presence. A profound connection to the natural world. Many empaths find that they share a much deeper bond with animals and nature than they do with most humans. This attraction stems from a craving for pure, uncomplicated energy. Nature provides a sense of solace and a sanctuary from the complexities of human emotion. The quiet presence of a forest or the rhythmic sound of the ocean offers a healing frequency that recalibrates an empath's overstimulated system. In these environments, they can enjoy a sense of solitude that feels nourishing rather than lonely. This affinity extends to animals, particularly those like dogs that are symbols of loyalty and sincere devotion. Animals communicate through energy and intent, which is the primary language of the empath. There is no hidden agenda or deception in an animal's love, making it a safe haven for someone who spends their life navigating the murky waters of human psychology. This deep love for life in all its forms is what often drives empaths to be environmentalists or animal advocates. They see the interconnectedness of all living things and feel a personal responsibility to cherish and protect the natural world. Embracing the path of the empath. Being an empath is a complex journey that involves balancing a great gift with a significant weight. The weird things empaths do, from fleeing crowds to talking to animals, are actually sophisticated coping mechanisms and expressions of a highly tuned internal compass. If you recognize these traits in yourself, it is important to accept them not as flaws, but as the hallmarks of a rare and valuable personality type. You are a paragon of selflessness in a world that often forgets how to care, and your presence makes a tangible difference in the lives of those you touch. The key to a fulfilling life as an empath is the integration of self-care with the care of others. By understanding your need for quiet spaces, recognizing the source of your emotions, and setting boundaries with those who seek your energy, you can transform your sensitivity into a sustainable power. You are not possessed or abnormal. You are a vital part of the human experience, acting as a bridge between hearts. Embrace your intuition, trust your connection to nature, and remember that your first and most important healing project is always yourself. When a genuine empath is healthy and balanced, they become one of the most transformative forces for good on the planet.